Hi.
G'day and welcome to Bums on the Bench. My name is Jacko and I am joined by two guests. I am joined by one man who is normally very, very cranky, who is happy. And one man who is normally very, very happy, who is cranky.
I fucking hate everyone.
So, listeners can't see this, but Josh has just realised he has about 3 meters of microphone cable and he's now pacing around our recording space like a stand-up comedian.
I love this. This is great.
He's about to say something controversial.
Right. I'm sorry.
Look, I'm excited, boys. It's the first time I finally got my car fixed, so I'm allowed to come back in person now.
I'm excited to actually have you back.
Thanks. It's hard doing when I'm on to the end. He gets in a mood on occasion, but he's happy because last week his team just beat us at ANZAC Day. So we said we'd talk about it. So let's talk about it.
What a game.
What a fucking game. Like that, honestly, I felt at the start Roosters really had some sort of dominant force over us. Like they just came out firing on all cylinders. But God, Dragons actually held in there and brought it back a little bit.
It was an exciting game, but before we get into the actual football aspect, there's a few details from the day that I just wanted to check with you, Josh. So,
yeah.
Was it the first or second half you got in trouble from the police?
First. About 5 minutes into it.
Oh, excellent.
And then my dad also brought me up on multiple times parenting telling me not to swear in front of kids.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's even funnier.
He kept telling me, stop swearing.
That's fucking
Like,
hilarious.
fuck.
Because I was going off my head. I was calling everything.
Oh, no, he didn't care about you guys. It was just me.
Yeah, that's what
made
makes
it
it
funnier.
Well, did you listen to last week? Because we described your dad quite well.
No, I didn't actually.
You're going to have to listen to the start of last week's episode because I was like, let me just tell the listeners what Josh's dad looks like and
Bloke.
describe him. Yeah. Just so you're aware, Josh, I kind of described him as someone who wouldn't traditionally care about swearing in front of children.
Yeah.
I mean, he does have a shirt that says Australia respected or fuck on it. It is censored though.
Oh, nice. I genuinely think that if you guys played Sam Walker, we would have beat you.
No, I agree. I think Sam Walker is going to find it really hard to get back in the team.
How good's Manu?
Manu's killing it.
He's so good.
I never realized 5'8" was just...
It's just he needs to have the ball in his hands. If he's got the ball in his hands, he is just unstoppable. Unstoppable, that man. And he proved it with his try in the second half.
It was pretty good.
What was it, 3 Dragons he ran over the top of to plant the ball down?
Maybe. I don't know. I was yelling.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have River out on the right that actually kind of, settled down their attack out there, and which it just ran all over us. Like, I'm sorry, but Mbai, I know he got a try, but at the start,
What are you looking at me for? I have no memory. You both looked at me. I don't fucking remember anything.
Oh, was it Mbai or was it
Moga got 3. I remember that much.
And then broke his shoulder.
I don't remember his
Moga broke his shoulder?
Yeah, he went off with a really injured arm. And
Yeah,
shoulder. That's
like
why he
he's
didn't play
fucked his
last
shoulder.
week. He's out, injured.
Oh,
He got a hat trick, got hurt, left the field.
But he did. No, to be fair, he didn't leave the field till 15 minutes after the try that caused him the issue. And then he was like, yeah, no, I need to go. And then Mbai moved out to the wing. Really, really smart play by Hook.
Look, we're going to have to talk about Hook at some point today. And I just want to make it very clear. I have nothing nice to say.
Oh, no.
Fair enough. But let's just go through the key moments of Anzac Day itself.
Yep.
Because it was an exciting game the whole world, and we only brushed over a few things last week, like my heart rate and us being in the camera shot for the pivotal moment.
I don't know if we told you, Josh. Andy's smartwatch was giving him heart rate warnings because his heart rate was so high the game. It was
For the last 25 minutes of the match.
It was telling him to sit down and breathe.
I was sitting down and I was breathing just very heavily because my team was shitting the bed.
You know, this is great because, like, man, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know.
Is your team going to give you early onset heart problems?
Oh, they're probably going to give me a heart attack one day if they really shit the bed. This is why I turn the TV off when they start really sucking.
This is good because actually I was about to bring this up. So, like, I see on the back of your car it says East 2022 member.
Yeah.
We'll win. How many times you quit the NRL last year?
How many games did the Roosters play? That many. That's how many he quit. He's quit 5 times this year.
I've only turned it off once this year. If I've started watching it.
I've seen at least 3 separate
Yeah.
messages of you going,
No.
Nah, I'm not watching this shit.
No. As I said, if I've started if I come into it halfway through and fuck this, that don't count. But if I've started it kick off, I've only quit once.
Yeah, no, okay, that's fair. What about last year?
I don't remember.
A lot.
6.
6?
6 separate times.
I'm glad you actually knew. I had no fucking idea, hey.
It's a lot.
It was, I remember like distinctively 3 weeks. At one point, it was just week after week.
No, I didn't watch
I'm
it.
not fucking watching this piece of shit game no more. What the fuck are Roosters doing? Where's their defense?
Well, it's true. Where was it? Was non-existent.
As I've said before, defense is next to the road.
Fair.
The defense is in the paddock.
Yeah. Yeah, it keeps the horses in.
Can we actually talk about sports now?
Yeah, we should probably talk about the game. So if we look back at it, before the game even started, I want to ask Jack, do you remember what I said to you on the train to the ground? Specifically about the way this match could go.
No.
I said to you, the Roosters get the first 2 tries in the first 20 minutes, it'll be a walk. But if the Dragons can come back and score a try at any moment in between 2 tries of the Roosters, it'll be a very close game. And guess what happened?
That exact situation.
Yeah, literally
The
that
exact situation.
that
Yeah.
exact scenario happened. The last one.
Yeah,
We might have pulled out a 20-6 lead and blown it, but
Yeah, because like you got Teddy in the 4th minute, then Moga in the 15th minute, and Radley in the 20th.
exactly.
Like, yeah, we're breaking up. Like, because you did have the 20th and 28th minute, but then we got the 3 unanswered after your 45th minute one. So like
there was also before
there was
your
Jack Bird.
before your first try,
Yeah,
there was the disallowed try to Egan Butcher as well.
it was too.
I reckon if that was given, your boys were done and it would have been a slaughter.
Oh,
No. It would have demoralized your team and it would have changed the direction of the game if you'd have gone down 12-0 rather than bringing it back to 6-all.
I don't know. Those 3 unanswered tries really show that Dragons did not want to give that game up, and I feel like it may have disheartened them, but clearly they were showing there was this modicum of an offensive team that managed to break part of Roosters' impenetrable defense.
Yeah, it's cool where Drew Hutchinson was on the field.
I like Drew Hutchinson.
I
thought
do
he
too,
was
but
our
he's-
best player.
he's
I thought he
the-
was the best Dragon on the field.
He used to be a Dragon.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he-
really got hard-held feelings back for us. That's why he's always letting
Yeah.
in the tries.
Remember, it's like when Woods left, we called him a forever Dragon's like he played for like 14 games. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, over 3 years.
What are some other key moments, Andy? Run us through them.
Well, the Teddy tried to open it was within 4 minutes of kickoff. It was
Right in front of us.
no, it was the other end of the field.
Oh no, it was too. That's right.
We
'Cause
saw
then
the break.
We saw the break, and yep.
Did
Yeah.
we talk about Josh blowing his voice out last week? Did we
Yeah,
mention that?
I think we did.
Yep.
Josh
'Cause I
Barney's
just
voice in
I
the
remember it
first
was
five.
nice and quiet, and you just hear Josh be like, "Go on, boy!" And then it was gone. It was all over.
Love my team.
One of our mates had a concussion, and every time he yelled, he had to sit down, just relax for a while.
Oh yeah, Mac's dad went off at him real hard after that game. He's like, "What's the one thing I told you to do?" After the discussion we had yesterday, and Mac went, "We had a discussion yesterday." And he's like, "I told you to sell your fucking ticket. Don't overstimulate yourself." So Mac went to the footy.
Nice. And I tell you what, I was certainly stimulated.
Oh yeah.
I mean, a grandma spoke shit to Andy in the grandstands walking past.
Yeah, that was nice.
She's walked past and she's like, "Oh, so you're wearing that jersey?" Yeah, she's walked past him to sit down.
She's right.
What's wrong with my jersey? It's a good jersey.
It's got too many colours on it.
It's got the right amount of colours on it.
No,
3 colours is better than 2.
no, it isn't.
Yeah.
No, it isn't.
3's too many to count.
Yeah.
For Dragons fans, it is.
Hey, we never have more colours than wins a season, so have some respect.
That's fair.
Poor team.
Oh, the boys. Look, it was fantastic. I want to give a massive shout out to the ANZAC Day for Sloan. I thought he was on fire.
That old codger in front of us.
Oh my God. Okay.
The existential crisis, man.
There was a man sitting in front of Josh, and I have never seen a more conflicted NRL fan. So some particular quotes that I remember for it is him turning around after giving Sloan a spray and looking at Josh being like, I really fucking hate him. He's the worst thing that's ever happened to this team. I'd go down there and fucking get him. And then Sloan puts on some great plays and he's standing in the stands screaming, be like, Sloan, you legend!
Don't forget the part where just before he scored the try, he was literally calling out, sandbagging him, saying, "You're a piece of shit, Sloan. Where's your defense? How come you get wrapped up like that?" And then 2 minutes later,
he
he scored the try.
and then he's calling him out, being like, Sloan! So I've never seen a more conflicted man. Like, Andy, you're normally the dude we look at like, Jesus Christ, man, you okay? But we were all looking at this other dude being like,
He was a hater.
He
was an absolute hater.
Oh,
Shout out to the old guy, though. He was real fun.
It was kind of funny.
yep. I somehow managed to get sat right on the end. So I got wedged between Andy, a grumpy Roosters fan, and then a dad and his son, who was just 18, next to me, and they were also Roosters fans. And I thought I'd make a little bit of small talk and things like that. And then the dad, early on in the game, looks at me and goes, "So you decided to talk to the superior people?" And I looked at him and I was like, well, I've just tried to make nice conversation. It's ANZAC Day. Because I was just trying to make like nice small talk, and then he shit talked me. So then I responded, and if anyone knows me in real life knows that I don't always say the nicest things. I went, "Look, mate, you're going to need at least 6 more teeth before you say anything to me again."
But he's not a Rabbitohs fan.
No, but he used to be. I could tell. The man was missing a few teeth up there, and like his son just straight up did like the "oh no" face, and the dude's just gone, "Okay," and looked forward and then left me alone for the rest of the match.
That's kind of
My
funny.
man.
Like, what do you mean superior people?
Well, we are the superior people. We're from the eastern suburbs. There's a lot of money there.
What do you mean we?
I am a superior person. You must admit, I am a Sydney Roosters fan.
Where do you live?
The eastern suburbs of Wollongong.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Let me tell you.
Coramal East, motherfucker.
Oh,
Hey,
no,
what's
it's
the
not.
other name for Coramal High? Criminal High.
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah, I had a bit of an argument with someone in the stands.
Shocking.
I can't believe it.
I tell you what was cool, the curtain raiser that me and you got to watch, but Josh didn't because he was late.
Yeah, what took you guys so long to get there?
We went to the pub.
So you missed the Australian Defence Force take on the Australian Fireys.
Yeah, instead I went and played 2 up, won $40, got a mad feed and got pissed.
Yeah, but there was some good players in it that Jack even said maybe the Dragons should consider hiring.
Bro.
Yeah, but bro, you should see their food. It's so good.
Yeah, because Eastern Suburbs has good food.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll admit that. Happily.
Yeah. The people suck, but.
Damn it.
The people suck. I mean, it was my most sober game of live footy I've ever been to, and I had a really, really good time. There's something awesome about a stadium with 41,000 people in it. Like, the atmosphere is insane. It was fantastic. I had the best day. It could have gone maybe a little bit better, actually. I wouldn't say the best.
3 points better.
Yeah, 3 points better.
Well, let's talk about the moment because we actually got a very, very good view of the kick.
Yep.
So, what was going through your heads when you seen Manu jump out of dummy half and not see Kiri behind the play? What was going through your head?
Waiting for it.
I'm not the most... To put in perspective, Andy had to point out where my microphone was this afternoon. It was in my hand. So I don't notice anything when I'm watching football. So I was just watching it being like, hold him out, boys, hold him out. I was watching the right wing over there being like, don't go out wide, don't go out wide. And then I look over to the goalpost as the ball's in the air. So I didn't even see the setup play. I've looked over, it's in the air, and I've already gone, oh, fuck. I think I screamed like, oh, fuck no. And I've sat down, put my head in my hands because I missed the whole preamble play because they were looking to go out to the wing. Yeah. And then they cut it back to the middle. I fell for the dummy. So I was watching the other field.
Josh, what was going through your head?
I was sitting there waiting for it, and then when I saw him get the ball, I was like, look at that. That's within kicking distance.
He's
probably right in front.
He's probably going to make that.
Oh, shit, there's the goalpost.
So for me, being a Chookies fan, time slowed down. Time slowed right the fuck down. So I've seen Manu jump out of dummy half. I I see Kiri in the back play. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Time slowed down because you were having a heart attack.
Yeah, probably.
You gotta sit down, my man.
I was sitting down to begin with. Anyway, I see Manu run out, and then I see the pass back, and I'm like, he can kick that. Time slows down. I watched that ball. And it must have taken a minute in my head for that ball to go over. But when it went over, I was cheering. And you can see it in the vision.
Yeah, you can watch Andy cheer and you can watch me have like just a depressive episode in the stands.
It is quite far the best piece of footage I've ever seen. Just because I knew where we were sitting and me and you were in that. And Leo was in that shot. No one else was.
Shout out Leo. Shout out Leo, some random friend of a friend who came with us and got absolutely roasted the whole game because he's a Tigers supporter.
Poor bastard.
Hey, man. After last week's performance, I don't know if we can be saying that as much.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, of course we can, but let's give it to them for a couple of weeks. Like, they beat the fucking Penrith Panthers.
Full strength too.
Full fucking straight, and they played their heart out.
Full credit to the boys.
110%, left it all on the field.
In the wise words of the prophet, Buddha Blocker, good football.
You know what? They ran hard, they tackled hard, and they scored more points than the opposition. Blocker must have been so proud.
Oh, yeah. He was stoked. It was fantastic because it was regional round, essentially. We had a game in Wagga
Game in Bathurst.
and a game...
That was it, wasn't it?
No, there was another one somewhere.
Well, there was a game in Mount Smart Stadium, but that's a normal stadium.
Yeah, there was a game at Wynn Stadium.
That's true, too. You only get 4 of those a year.
6 now.
Well, the other games.
I
You've
don't know.
had 2.
So far.
So, wait. Manly's was at 4 Pines.
Yeah, that's Brookvale.
Actually, I'm just trying to figure it out. They didn't do a Mudgee game.
No, the Mudgee game was your boys and
Yeah,
Charity Shield.
way back
Oh, I
when
thought
in
there was a
Feb.
game at Mudgee this weekend.
No, there wasn't.
No.
So they played at Bathurst and they played at Wagga. They brought one down here, but they do 6 of those a year, apparently. I only thought it was
Someone
4.
told me it was 6.
I thought it was 4. Either way, there's your 3 regional games for regional round.
Pretty good.
Good job,
They were
Alra.
fantastic games, though.
Oh, they
Regional
really
round
were.
always brings it. Like, man, that rain, that was absolutely killing them out in Bathurst. Like, that stuff was bolted. Not a man left. They just all stayed. Hats off to them.
Yeah, seriously, they get one NRL game a year, and it was just a whole bunch of old mates being like, I ain't leaving.
Yeah. Same as the boys at Mount Smart Stadium, too. It was pelting down the Chooks game.
Yeah, and they still had the Joker there too, the Warriors Joker. He was there with a poncho on.
Hey, of course. They had to get Radley in the bin.
Oh, that was my highlight of the round of footy, was the Kiwi fella in the stand that had a mini wheelie bin that just said, get in, Victor.
No, it was Radley.
Get in, Radley. Right? Yeah, which is fantastic. Hey, we need to talk about that
He
from
didn't
the
get-
ANZAC game.
Oh, yeah. That moment. That was a load of crap.
Bit soft.
It
Yeah.
was the softest
Yep.
sin bin for Radley in the past 3.
Don't get me wrong. In the moment.
You guys were stoked.
Oh, 100%.
Bin.
Get him off. Send him
That's
walking.
fair. That is absolutely fair. But
Absolutely diabolical.
re-watching, it was a bit soft.
It was...
The
A bit
one
soft.
angle that shows the shoulder contacting the head, I feel like there's more contact head, and the shoulder just sort of like, it's head and then shoulder rather than shoulder then head.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah, by letter of the law, Radley had to go for 10. I'm not disputing that the rule
I
is
would.
shoulder to the
No,
head.
But they're like, the consistency thing for refs is such a huge key point
Common
for 'em
sense
this
needs
year.
to come into it.
I don't know. I kind of really am liking the approach they're taking with their current sin binning calls, if I'm being honest. Because, man, like I get the the players are frustrated. They're coming out. They're saying this. So there's a lot of stuff they're against, and they they want to make these huge tackles that gets all this
Yeah.
press attention, but they won't. But the thing is, the game has gotten way more dangerous. The game has gotten significantly more likely to cause severe injuries coming through. And I think it's because of the speed up of the play that's been happening with all the rule changes over these years. And I think, as terrible as it sounds, consistency here means that I know they're in the heat of the moment and you can't always do it, but there are going to be some of those tackles now where they're going to have a second thought. And that second thought might just stop someone from getting a head injury.
I understand that, but also if you listen to what happened after the incident,
Couldn't I was cheering.
We
Didn't hear a
couldn't
thing.
We couldn't hear a thing in the stadium, but I'm talking about what happened with Teddy and the ref. Teddy made a comment, and I think it's quite valid, even though probably not the way to approach it. He said if that was anyone else, you wouldn't send him walking. That was what he said to the ref, and the ref said, I'm not having that. Go away now.
You know what, man? No offense to him, but he's earned his reputation.
He has earned a reputation, but in all honesty, that this means now that anytime Radley goes anywhere near the head, it's just an automatic sin bin.
But you know what, man?
Man's going
Sucks to suck because he's
gonna
done
have
this
24.
for years.
Yeah, but he'd only had 4 sin bins going into this season. Now he's at 8.
And that's more telling of him than anything.
No, it's more telling that the refs putting a fucking target on him.
I don't want to say classic Roosters fan just being
Yeah,
like,
shut
oh,
up, you fucking
refs,
grub."
refs, oh, refs. I tell you what, though, I want to know. We need to mic up Josh Reynolds next week. Whatever he said to the referee.
Oh, he said it was bullshit.
Yeah, he said it was absolute bullshit. Like,
Oh, is that it?
That was all he said.
Like, it was not much into it. The ref was just pissed off.
Oh, man, because he had a tantrum on the field, the referee did. I swear he must have said something pretty good.
It was the same ref as at our game. Same ref.
And then,
Damn.
like I said, consistency, though. This led into my next point. Hip drops.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
My God.
okay, so it is becoming a phenomenon this year. It is blown completely out of water. And they're right, man. The second those studs are up, that's a dangerous
Yeah, it's
tackle.
very much a dangerous
And I
tackle.
think that's where the sin binning of the other things needs to remain consistency with the large-scale sin binnings of the hip drops. Because if they start getting lenient, then other stuff's going to start getting questioned, and then you're going to get a lot of pushback from this. I think you need to have a hard line now so they know where it is. You can't just be like,
Boys, we're coming into Magic Round, which is...
Ugh.
No, Magic Round's
sorry for
great.
interrupting you, Randy.
Because it's referee crackdown time. Every year at Magic Round, there's a referee crackdown.
Wait,
And
boys, question for you both right now.
go.
This entire round, how many sin bins are we seeing?
I was going to say, how many ACLs do you reckon we see done?
At least 3.
At least, have you seen Suncorp Stadium in the past month?
No, I haven't been checking out the ground coverage.
Horrid. It was not
5.
holding up.
But yeah, no, how many sin bins we
Oh,
got?
at least 10.
So we got 8 games.
8 games. There'll be 2 and 1.
14.
Victor's on the field. There's 1.
I reckon 6.
I'm reckoning about 7 to 10.
14. Go big. Get him walking.
And Victor gets 2 of them. Because they didn't sin bin him last week, so they need to make up for it.
Victor gets 2. Latrell definitely gets 1.
Oh, no. Latrell needs to get 3 so that Latrell can have the record. Because Victor and him are tied on most sin bins in the NRL history at the moment.
Oh, Victor will blow him out of the water by the end of the year.
Oh, yeah, no. He's going to end up with like 25 sin bins at this rate.
At what stage, like, do they go, you've had how many sin bins? Like, is there anything else we can
When
do
is
here?
Robert going to sit down and be like, hey, man, maybe it is your fault? Like, at one point, he's going to have to, like, pull the Band-Aid off and be like, hey, bro, maybe go for the legs.
If your name is Victor the Inflictor,
Best nickname in the NRL.
clearly you are the problem.
Yeah, look, great nickname. Great nickname.
Look,
Will
I
not
think-
deny.
Like, honestly, that
Can we go
stuff
back?
gets...
Can we go back to the hip drop though? Because there's
absolutely.
one little thing I want to bring up, and it is tedious. There have been 2 hip drops this year that have been contentious, that have both been binned.
Consistency.
No. And then later on in said game, there has been a severe hip drop that has not been binned.
Correct.
Were they seen?
It was in the Broncos game a few weeks ago. I think it was Payne Haas wasn't, and his was a severe one.
And Ezra Mann was a minor one, and he was binned,
Yeah.
which is
So
why they didn't
this-
play this weekend.
It's why I think that if you're going to do what you say and crack down on them, then all need to be. But if you send the other player, like the other player is forcibly taken from the field from a hip drop, then it should be an automatic sin bin, which
Agreed.
is not seeming to be consistent among all the referees at the moment.
But I think it goes back. I know I didn't see the one in question, so please counteract me if I'm wrong. But
Jack.
fucking bastard.
Talking to Andy, he's counteracting me if I'm wrong. He goes, doesn't matter if you're right, you will be counteracted, bitch.
Now, what was the feats up on the serious one? Like, what? Explain the scene to me.
So I
'Cause-
don't actually remember the actual incidents. All I remember was, I think from memory, Ezra Mann was just brought down. Like, he was going in for the tackle. Tackle momentum brought them forward, and his legs went up. Studs came up, but it was through momentum of the tackle, and it came down normally.
Yep.
And they discussed that as being, yeah, no, that's a hip drop, go to the bin. Whereas Payne Haas has jumped into it in a way.
He's done the classic like hip drop tackle.
Yeah, Payne Haas does the classic hip drop tackle, doesn't get binned.
The folding of the legs over the body,
Yeah.
on the back of the legs, weight and drag down, and it was like penalty play on.
Put
Now,
on report.
He did get punished for this.
No,
Is
he
that
was
correct?
put on report.
Yes.
He was put on report, and that's why he didn't play last week. Same as Ezra Mann.
Now I agree with that, but and also you're very correct. They need to be a bit more onto it.
Yeah, especially if it's one of those situations, like if I'm remembering it correctly, and I might not be, but I'm pretty sure Ezra Mann was tackling like a winger or something. Momentum was just taking him forward. He was still coming down,
And
but
legs just swing
yeah,
out.
they just swung out. It wasn't intentional, so to speak. Whereas Payne Haas has looked more intentional in a way, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Because I just wanted to find out about because like as they've been going on, it's the studs.
Yeah, it's the
it's
studs coming
always
out of the
the
ground.
studs.
It's that's the point where they're like, no, that's a penalty.
And like I actually think that's a really good key point. It's a very easy visual point that you can
Yeah.
make, and then you'll have lots of playback coming from all these camera angles that you can review it properly.
I think for any sin bin going forward, the bunker needs to review all angles and footage and have a monicum of common sense.
No, I don't think it can, but sim bins can't be reversed or reviewed.
No. So what happened with the Victor Raleigh one? It wasn't going to be sent to the sin bin, and then the bunker has reviewed it. He has to go. It was sort of the call from the ref.
Okay.
So the bunker does review plays like this sort of thing. What I'm saying is let's reverse the decision. Referee on the field makes the call to send him to the sin bin. You get 30 seconds to review, and if the bunker agrees, then he goes to the bin. If it doesn't agree, it's all right, sin bin taken away,
And penalty.
And
I
I
agree.
think that's the better way to do it. I think it should be more on-field ref makes the call, bunker reviews after.
And they do that for everything at the moment where you're coming to the point where why don't they do this for other things which it might make more sense. Like
Yeah.
you can continue the plays and like I know they go against it stops everything, especially when they get the HIAs after the doctors.
Yeah,
and stuff.
exactly. But
Too fucking bad. Slow down this play sometimes because like I said earlier, it's causing more injuries this speed up of play. They are
Yeah.
not able to properly rest between tackles, and it's just causing more fatigue, more likely that they're going to get more injured.
I want to jump on the back of this because I was having a chat at work about someone in regards to the speed of the game. And while, yes, it has been a fantastic idea and the athleticness of the footy is awesome, what's really bothered me is that the reason I think we're seeing a lot of dangerous tackles is because there is no reward for tackling around the midriff, because as soon as you put them on the ground, you must release them. They can get up and play the ball. No one is given the opportunity for the marker to step back around in front and set that defense. So, like, why would I tackle someone around the legs and be behind them, knowing they can stand up, play the ball, and I'm in an offside position? Because the second that tackle is completed, that ball carrying elbow touches the ground, I have to completely let go of them. So I think that's why we're still seeing some of these big players tackle up around. Slow the play down a little bit. Let the marker get onside.
So, there's a little bit more to this. And there was analysis where they're talking about the focus of the game and what it is comparative to what it was 20 years ago. The main focus now is your attacking positions are going for quick play the balls. They're looking for gaps. They're running through. They keep trying to push through. You look at 20 years ago, it was grabbing them, pulling them back, holding them down, slowing it down, and really driving those big hits in to, counteract this. But also, they were talking about how the defensive focus as well, because of the rule changes, has led them to try and go for the opposing strategies of build a wall to block it up, not dive them down.
Yep.
And that, I reckon, is now causing this huge flow-on effect.
Hold them up and wrestle standing. So instead of grappling on the ground, you're grappling standing, and then you're swinging around their body, causing a hip drop.
Yep.
Because, the only way as a defender you can maintain your marker position is to hit them around the chest and hold them up. Because if you're getting them on the ground at any point, laying on behind them or next to them, you aren't given a single second to get back on side. So I agree. I've wanted the game to slow down just a little bit. One, for the sake of the ACLs, and two, for the sake of, well, what's the point in fucking tackling someone if I'm just going to have to stand next to him and there's a hole in the defensive line and I've done a good tackle.
And that's why I reckon their rule change this year with the attackers now have the responsibility. If they fuck that up, that is no longer a penalty. I think that is the greatest rule they introduced this year.
As soon as the ball's planted, it's sort of like at that point it's your fault
Because
sort of thing.
it is their fault.
And we've seen that a lot over the past even few weeks.
It's been good.
It's been
fantastic.
it's a great thing. Another point. I think that the best way to solve this whole solution is reward leg tackles. Because right now, as Jack's saying, they don't reward the leg tackles. They sort of swing around. It's like, all right, you've got to let go. They play the ball. You don't get a chance to get onside. All right, you're allowed to hold them down until you're in position. You get 5 seconds.
Yeah, something like that.
Just something simple that you can keep your hand positioned on them, and while it's on them, that player cannot get up and play the ball. You get 5 seconds doing it. And after the 5th second, then it's a penalty to the attacking team.
Yeah, and so you go.
Yeah, and the referees are able to do this because, it's when that first call of held is had, you're allowed to maintain 3 seconds of contact.
Exactly.
So now when you see a legs tackle completed, just call held and count the same amount of seconds.
Let the held be the, hey guys, this is now the time to start getting off, not the get off now, you're penalised type thing.
Get in front of him, set the marker.
Yeah, exactly.
Let the marker be set. Otherwise, there's no point in having them.
It's been around for a while, and I think it was Vossi and Gus have both said that you need to reward legs tackles in this game because, legs tackles are some of the better and more brutal tackles in the game because you wrap their legs up, they pull them down. Looks fantastic on camera, but they're not rewarded for them. They do that, they're out of position, all of a sudden you get a quick play of the ball and there's a break 20 metres down the side of the field.
You wrap around straight around the first marker, go down in, and then you go through. Like,
exactly.
We've seen rabbits they take the most advantage of that exact
Well, that's
thing.
because their whole strategy is get quick play the ball, get it to Cook. Cook does 20. Latrell then does 20 out of the scoot and out of the dummy half position. It's a stock standard play, and it'll take that out of the game if all of a sudden legs tackles means, I've got to wait 5 seconds before I can play the ball.
Do you reckon any of the players would actually have a problem with this? Like, you interview them, ask them questions.
I reckon the ones that have perfected this quick play the ball are the only ones that'll have a sook about it.
The rabbits.
Yeah, so exactly. And who gives a shit?
Oh.
You got to have a full set of teeth to actually make calls for the NRL, so no one cares about what they think.
I want to have a whinge about something in the NRL.
Okay.
I don't like NRL 360.
No one does.
I don't like Kenty. You sent me a clip and like, watch this. It was an 11-minute clip. I got 4.5 minutes in and I turned it off. And that's my whinge.
You didn't get to the best part where he was just constantly biting into everyone about it. They had good points. Kenty didn't let them speak it.
It's just
like,
an embarrassment.
I powered through Kenty to listen to everyone else's point, and the funny thing was they were all agreeing with Kenty. He just didn't realize.
He didn't want to. He's like, stop justifying me. Stop letting me I'm right. He's just an absolute fucking man baby.
If we're going to talk about panel shows, there's something I want to talk about.
I love a good panel show. I feel like I'm made for a British panel TV show.
There's one panel show that trumps every panel show when it comes to sport, and that's Inside the NBA. Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, and the round mound of rebounds, Charles Barkley. The 4 greatest entertainers of all time.
Josh, you have no idea what we're talking about, do you?
No.
So Inside the NBA is the TNT equivalent of like the Sunday Ticket before any TNT game, and right now they're in playoffs, so they're on every day. And they come on about half an hour before the start of play. They talk shit about the teams, fuck around with each other. Game starts, they're gone. Halftime hits, they get the halftime show. Then the second half kicks off. Then they come back for a post-game wrap-up. Very, very funny because all they do is fuck with Charles.
You love to hear it.
So a few weeks ago in the Atlanta game, there was a bit of confetti. Like 3 or 4 pieces just dropping from the ceiling. That to stop the game. And it ended up on their segment, Shacked and a Fool, which is the dumbest shit that they could find that from that week. Shacked, acting a fool, hence Shacked and a Fool.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I showed the clip to Jack earlier. What they've done is they've shown the confetti falling, and it cuts to sort of like the top of the rafters of the basketball stadium, and there's Shaq's dumb face on a person that's been photoshopped in there throwing confetti down. Cuts back to the inside the NBA studios on a camera hard on Charles. That's all you can see. Charles looks straight up.
Charles had a hard on.
No, it was hard on Charles.
Oh, right. Gotcha.
But
Yeah,
the hard cam was on Charles.
Oh, Jack.
Fuck's sake. So they come out of this thing, and Charles looks up thinking, oh, God, they're going to screw with me. Nope. Looks up again, and then all this confetti just falls on his face. And he just looks so disappointed while the rest of them are pissing themselves laughing.
Charles is also a very controversial presenter. He's said some things in the past.
Big old women down in San Antonio, according to him.
Yeah, there's a whole, like, it's been a running joke for, I think, like 6 or 7 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
A long time, where they always bring up San Antonio, and he always says that there's some big old women in San Antonio, and they send a reporter down one time to find out, to interview him, and they found
Like 5 women.
5 of them. And they've interviewed, and they're like, see, Charles, none of them were big. He's like, why do you think the interviews took her all day? Took her all day to find those 5. Like, he's just brutal with it. He's always in trouble. And poor Shaq just, like, the other 2 presenters, credit to him, are professionals.
Shaq's just, he's
In the
gone.
corner pissing himself laughing. It's like us with a TV screen and all the shit we don't cut. Do cut.
Well, think about what Charles then did, because he was talking about them eating churros, and they had double hands. Now, we don't need to do the gesture, do we?
Yeah. One day we'll film this.
But yeah, I just wanted to compare that to, the other panel shows around there. So there's 360, the Sunday Ticket, the AFL 360, which I don't watch.
I barely watch the sport.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
Oh, there you go.
They get laughs. The only people that get laughs in the NRL are what? Matty Johns and the Fletch.
Yeah, and
Hindy.
Hindy. They're fantastic.
And the Doctor.
Is he still on there?
Oh,
though?
no, I don't think
I
he's
think
anymore.
he's not.
But he's a podcaster
He'd get
now, isn't he?
laughs when he was.
Oh yeah, he had some brutal segments.
No, the best segment he ever did was I think either the dirtiest NRL player, where it was between Fletch, Hindy, and Matty, about who was the dirtiest NRL player, or why Ennis and Hindy hated each other, and they said it was sexual tension at the end.
Yep.
Because one time, it was a Hindy or Ennis who had his accidentally dacked the other one and faced
No. What happened was just randomly in a game, Ennis was notorious for chatting the players, and he got under Hindy's skin, and Hindy threw a punch, and it was very rare for Hindy to throw a punch. And from that moment on, Ennis was apparently Hindy's mortal enemy.
He even spoke about him off the field in an interview.
Yeah.
And had to come out and apologize about it. He's like, he's just a grub. Like, in an interview, they're like, so you know what happened on the field? He's like, oh, he's just a grub. Like, it genuinely irked him to the point where there's so many good footage. There's the time where Hindy's got someone else by the scruff of the neck, sees Ennis behind the other player, drags him out of the way, and then grabs Ennis over his head and drags him in. Like, genuinely hated him.
And now they work together.
And neither of them have premierships.
No, Ennis does.
Who with?
Sharks in 2016, dickhead.
I wasn't watching footy then. I was at university.
So I was I was at work. I was in Perth actually that day.
How do you record the day?
Okay, so funny story. So for the NRL Grand Final, I actually had to fly to Perth and film a rugby game that day. And to soften the blow, both my bosses flew over with me. So we got the game done, and we were like, fuck, we can make it to the pub in the next half hour. We'll be able to watch the game. And our flight was 1:30 that night. So we had nowhere to be. And it was like 3 PM in Perth because they're on stupid o'clock time. So we speed to the pub. We get blind drinking there. And then,
That's
after the
getting
game, but then we got piss whacked at the airport too. So we're already drunk. We still had 5 fucking hours, so we went to the pub at the airport.
Well, let's just go get fucking stoned at the airport too then. Let's get piss whacked, boy.
Back to sport ball.
How about the games this week?
Well, they're all at fucking Suncorp Stadium, aren't they?
Sorry. How about the games last week?
Yeah, that's better.
They're all right, man. I think I watched most of them, like usual.
I watched one.
Yeah, which one was that one?
I actually watched the Chooks game start to finish.
Weirdly enough,
You're telling me you didn't watch the Tigers Storm game?
No, I
Tigers
didn't.
Penrith game?
I didn't watch that. I did watch the final seconds of it, though, when the Tigers won.
God, that felt
And,
good.
like, 6 of their players didn't know the team song.
dude. But also fucking fair enough. Like, it gets
It
sung
had been
once
like
a year.
275 days
Now-
since their last win.
Yeah, 9 months of playtime, 275 days of actual
That's
real
mental.
life time. Wasn't
Imagine
it
being that shit.
round. I'm gonna say it was in the single digit round.
No, I think it was like round
or
12 or 13 last year when they
Yeah.
won.
because they won 4 times last year.
Shockingly.
Yeah, I don't know how they managed to get that many, but
Couple golden point wins in there with Jackson Hastings' boot. Was
Mm.
2 of them.
like let's go over some of these games because man, this week we were either in whitewash territory or this game was butt clenching. Like
Yes.
Yeah.
you think about it, Rabbits versus Broncos, Eels versus Knights, Sharks versus Cowboys. But then you look at the end of it, Panthers versus Wests, Warriors versus Roosters. Like even though they kept them scoreless, it was a tight.
It always
game.
felt like the Warriors could, if they played good footy,
It blew my
could get
mind.
back in.
It blew my mind that they didn't go over the line once because they looked really good all game.
Did you hear about the batter? He put 50,000 on the Roosters to win 1-12.
Oh no,
How much did he get?
Nothing.
because they won
Oh,
by 14.
no.
So for the last 20 minutes, he's like, please score, please score. Holy shit, please score.
Some dude put I think it was $500 on the Tigers to win the other day.
Yeah, I was going to say, what are the odds for that? Because
That was like-
whoever has taken the Tigers has just skyrocketed their money.
Yeah, that would have been like paying like $4 or $5.
I
They
think
have to be.
But depends. Let's not start talking about gambling. I don't want to.
Yeah, I hate gambling.
I fucking hate sports bets so much.
Why
And they're
do so-
stupid ads.
Racist too.
No, isn't that points bet that's got the racist ones?
No, that's sports bet because they had the Egyptian one,
Oh, okay.
and now they've got that. Whatever. Have you seen the newest one?
No, I don't watch ads. I don't watch TV.
Bruh. Like it is not good.
And they're not allowed to advertise during sport anymore, are they?
No, they still are. They still do.
I thought that
All
was
the fucking time. They have to now say you win some, you lose more. Think about what you're gambling.
Yeah. Vlandis came out today in the news and said that betting on sport actually adds to the entertainment of it. I'm like, well, it doesn't.
Let's not encourage a gambling culture of this fucking.
I want to talk about the
society.
Red Rooster ads.
They suck.
They suck. But have you noticed that, because it's essentially, it's a person and then there's his conscience that speaks to him. Have you noticed it's not the same actor? It's like 2 random people.
No, but have you noticed that the conscience is always the same person,
Yes.
and that for some reason none of them are white? Like every time the main person is some different ethnicity, and then there's him.
Yeah, a very white dude is the conscience.
I don't get it.
Did somebody say KFC?
I'm going to strangle you this fucking cord.
All right, we're hanging out the corner.
I'm going to fucking kill you.
Well, you're talking about chicken ads, for fuck's sake.
We're
meant to be talking about
some Red Rooster right now.
We're meant to be talking about sport ball.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about the game because I'm really, really
Which game?
The game.
the game.
The game.
The game?
Tigers versus Penrith.
I was going to say you lost the game, but anyway.
Jesus Christ. Okay, but like,
No,
I know I'm harping on about it, but I've not seen a better defensive effort in the rain. They fucking took their sets. They held their balls. They did not allow errors, and it just showed that Tigers had something else in them.
I don't know where it came from. Like, we have seen no signs at all this year of improvement, or we haven't even seen like a build up to this. There hasn't been like a couple of like really close calls where like, oh, they're building, they're gonna get it eventually.
They just dug deep.
No, the Manly game, they look like they sort of nearly had it.
Yeah, but I get what Jack's saying. It wasn't the game where you're like, nah, okay, now I'm starting to think.
It
there
didn't
could be
leave
something.
me
Sort
with-
of just waiting for that last Penrith try to
Yeah.
just come in, yeah?
Especially because they're known for the points at the last minute, too.
Yeah.
And shout out Api Coruscant. That's got to feel so good. Like
To your own club,
yeah,
man.
to your own club, beating them in the rain. It was just a shame. The only thing I want to say is shame about that game was that it wasn't at the Panthers' home ground in Western Sydney.
No, I want to say it was good that it wasn't there because I think if it was there, Penrith would have come home with it. I really think Penrith could have won it if it was at their actual home ground.
Probably, but can you just imagine the scenes?
I could. That stadium would get turned upside down.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic.
And now let's talk about the frustrating game.
Which one?
Dolphins
Our
versus
one.
Raiders.
Oh, yeah, that one too.
So the NRL have come out and said that that was a knock on 2 plays before the field goal.
You hate to hear it, don't you?
NRL admitted they made a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Kind
think
of a big
every
one?
fan could have told him that.
Yeah, it was a big one.
Like that cost the team the game.
Wayne Bennett, in the article that came out in the Sydney Morning Herald today, said that what are you going to do? Like, they cost us the game. Big whoop. We're going to have to move on.
Yeah, there's nothing you can
There's
do.
nothing we can do
I
about it.
respect his, it's just about next week now mentality. However, the fans,
Oh,
they can
get it.
hold on to this.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be like a core memory for a lot of Dolphins
Yeah,
fans.
you remember in our first year when we nearly would have won one game, but nah, it was a knockout. But just give it to him anyway.
Was this Jack Whiten's first game since the contract?
Yes,
too?
Yes, it was.
So this is the one where he cried in the post.
Yeah, I was
where
going
he
to bring it
cried
up.
in
Sticky
the-
Yeah,
cried in
so
the press
he,
conference.
yeah, that's bad. That's bad.
I mean, I get it.
Huge release of emotion.
Yeah, it must have been massive. I like Ricky Stewart. I like the fact that he's like a bit of an emotional roller coaster.
It's kind of funny.
He's fantastic.
You truly don't know what we're going to get with that boy any given day.
Well, that's the thing. He's there tearing up, and he's like, "Yeah, so and it really pissed me off. Thank you," and then just leaves the press conference. Like it's just down and up and down and up. Like calling that dude a weak-gutted dog a couple of years ago,
That was last year.
last year. Just mental. Like I mean, being an NRL coach cannot be easy.
Yeah, look at fucking Bellamy. Looks like he's aged 50 years since he started coaching in 2002.
Yeah.
It's only been 21 years.
He doesn't look good. He doesn't look
Look
good.
at Hasler. Hasler looks frazzled.
If Hasler goes to the Dragons, I pray for that man's heart.
Can we talk about what fucking happened today with the Dragons?
Okay, so I broke the news to you two, and you had the exact same reaction that apparently Lomax had,
Good.
I was having a good day.
and then Hook dropped Lomax.
Okay, I get it. There's a couple things. His kicking is not
Pristine.
reflecting what it should be doing. He's missing a large majority of them, and it's quite a poor percentage this year.
Yeah.
And for the fact that they put him out on the left to try and get better defensive with Benny Hunt,
But it's
that
not
fell
working.
through because he doesn't even want to be out on the left anymore.
Oh, he never wanted to be out there. It's his non-preferred side.
Benny, I'm talking about.
Oh, I'm talking about Lomax didn't want to be out there either.
No, but Lomax got ditched out there. That's what I'm saying. When he got moved across for that defensive play, it just fell apart, and he was left out there. And him, I know it was to get rid of that fucking flick pass he always does. He just doesn't look. But there are clearly more pressing issues with some of the players in the Dragons team than Zach Lomax, because Zach, bit of a grub.
Yeah.
Not denying that.
But he's our grub.
But that man,
He's like how Josh Reynolds is their grub at the Doggies.
he's one of our largest offensive attacks, and I feel like we've been gutted slightly because of it. And say it once, I'll say it again. Hook, what the fuck are you doing?
I think that the biggest thing they should have done was not drop Lomax. Maybe drop Amon, put Sullivan in there.
Sullivan needs to get a run. And if
Like,
we're going to run him
Little
Little would be a good centre.
Little needs to come back in.
With also
Everyone's
hooker. He should
Yeah.
be starting hooker,
he
not
should be
Mbai.
starting hooker.
No, I agree.
No, fuck Sullivan.
No,
Done.
I'm saying Sullivan should be playing 6.
Yeah,
He is a 6.
yeah,
He's a 6.
yeah,
Why is
move
he not?
Amon.
So, you guys didn't pay attention to Reggie's last week, did you?
No,
So
what
Sammy-
the fuck is Reggie's?
Reserve grade, where Sammy Walker went, and he was playing your boys. And Jaden Sullivan ran rings around him. This kid's just come down from first grades looking for a bit of a confidence boot and gets run around
By the
a guy-
Dragons.
by the Dragons 6 who can't even make the team. You know what I mean? Like, how is this kid not in your squad?
Because all Hook cares about
Is big boys
From
at the
Queensland.
front.
from Queensland.
Right,
If you're from Queensland, you're in our starting side.
He's fucking just doing outdated strategies where he's not going into the quick play of the ball, and that's why we are losing some of our players that are just we have had some really impactful wingers,
Yeah.
and we fumble it so hard every time. I'm looking at Saab. Saab, I was ready for that boy to do things, and he did do things in Manly. We can't deny that.
That first year he went to Manly, he was unbeatable.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think Dragons are just known for fumbling anything attacking wise.
I think it's more that the Dragons are known for fumbling anything that is under 25. No, I wasn't trying to make.
No, that's
good.
So true. That's why I'm laughing. So hurt. That's yeah.
If you're under
Say fumbling or fondling?
fumbling.
Oh, right. Oh,
I
God.
didn't say fondling.
That's
no.
what I heard.
No. He said fondling under 15.
No, that's what the doggies.
Like,
How many more games do we have to lose until Hook gets fired?
I'm surprised he hasn't been sacked. Well, how many more games are you gonna put Hook out there when Jason Riles is literally 1 week away probably from signing with the Storm, or saying no, I'm going to stay with the Roosters for my last year and then go take over the Storm because Bellamy's apparently weighing up coaching again next year.
I would take pretty much any coach. I would take Shane Flanagan at this point.
I don't think he's leaving Manly anytime soon.
I would take Madge Maguire. I would take Des. Jamie Soward.
He's not getting.
Do you know what? Fuck it. Play 2 weeks without a coach. See what happens. We're not going to get worse.
you know, we could ask some dude from down the street. He might be a better coach.
Right, well, let's ask that dude from the stadium who was going off his nut in front of us. Let him have a
He
run.
clearly knows how to have a screen.
It's been really disappointing because, and like, not that I think our team is a premiership winning team at the moment. I'm not going on the line to be like, oh, if we didn't have Hook, we'd be winning. No, I think we'd push the 8 though. I think we'd get knocked out in the finals. We have a really decent lineup.
You just do though. Like, I'm not going to deny that there is potential in that lineup. I think what you guys are lacking is a solid 6. Like, you need someone to run 5'8". That's a running forward, but can also attack because Amon can't.
And it's not Mbai. Stop giving him the number 6 jersey.
And also, you need a utility on the bench who isn't Little. Little needs to be starting
As hooker.
and you need an attacking utility on the bench that can slot in at either second row, lock forward, or push comes to shove. Let's say Zach Lomax breaks his arm. He can slot into center, or he can slot into the wing, and he can push the wing to the center or something. You need something like that.
I reckon give it to the second Feeney brother. So they played for the first time together this year on the wings.
They looked
One
all
wing
right.
each. They both look really good. So I think it's Matt Feeney has been the regular in the starting lineup, and he's been absolutely phenomenal this year. Probably one of our most consistently best players when he's on the field. Max got a run last week, and he was on the other wing, and he looked pretty damn good too. They're local boys. Couchman's been a great get. Like, we have such a good junior development area to catch from.
Yeah. You've got a big area too. It's not just the Illawarra. You're also down South Coast Rugby League as well. That's a big area for you guys, like Gerringong, Kiama, Jamboree, the Group 7 area. That area is such just a talent pool that these guys can pull from, and they just don't.
Dude, I mean, like, there's tons. Probably the biggest name to come from Group 7's Ruben Garrick at the moment. And
Exactly.
he's killing it.
Exactly.
Like, we do have a very formidable force down here, and it's always been known in our brutality, but until we get better feeders, like, actually, starting to come up in our team.
Yep. And also, like, if
tread
losing
water.
Hook means we lose Ben Hunt, but it means we get to do a proper clean out and a rebuild, I'll take it. And I love Benny Hunt.
at
I've
this
said it
point-
many times.
Yeah, I'll take it too.
I'll take it.
I think at this point you just need to blow it up and rebuild from scratch, and you need to pick a solid 6 and 7 to put behind.
Because I'm worried that if we don't, we'll be the next Tigers, and this will be us for the next 10 years.
There's only one slight issue with that, and that's getting that 6. Let's say Benny Hunt goes, getting that solid half in there
Just stick him
to build around. Really?
Yeah.
You'd really just build around a Mo.
No, not build around him, but just stick him in for now until you find someone. Because, man, like, it's going to be a short changeover. Let's be honest. It's gonna blow up. Things are going to happen, and we're going to need someone to fill in immediately. At least Amon has had the training working under Benny to try and get this position when he does retire. So why would not just put him in there for now? Like, fuck. It's not like anything else we're doing is working at the moment.
I think putting yourself in a losing position prior to blowing up is the worst thing you
We're
can
already
do.
in a losing position, Randy. We're losing every week now.
Yeah, we're not doing too good, bro.
No, we're not even losing
but-
games. We're losing people, losing fans.
But you're losing games by 1 to 2 points. Like, you're blowing up like, oh, we're not doing that well. But I know losing every game is not ideal, but if you're still putting in enough of an effort to lose 6 points or less, that's better than what the Tigers have been doing.
But you know what, man? It's not even that. It's because like the scores are not indicative of what we see at the games.
That's fair.
What we see at the games are fumbles, missed opportunities, bad passes.
Shocking defensive reads.
Yes, like sure, we might be still able to get some of the points, but the actions and the missed opportunities clearly show we should be 18 points ahead of where we normally are, I'd say.
I'd say so.
Because we have at least 1 to 2 tries that are just so clear, easy tries that we just fumble the bag on.
Fumble, or put a foot out of line, or throw a wonky pass.
You boys haven't checked your lineup this week, have you?
No.
No, you're not.
So, unfortunately, Jacob Little's in the reserves, but they put Sullivan at 14.
Okay, at least he gets a run, but I wonder what they're going to use him for.
Centers.
No, I don't reckon he'll be in the centres. I reckon because Mbai's still starting 9, so I reckon he'll swap out with
Yeah,
Mbai.
no, but they'll use Mbai as a rotating utility player.
Is
and then
Mbai a
probably-
Queenslander?
Yeah,
Gives up,
actually.
there you see, I told you, if you're a Queenslander, you get a run. Like, Mbai is not a bad NRL player.
He's a great utility player. I'll give it to him.
He
Yeah,
can.
he's not a starter,
But
he's
he's-
not a starting
But
player.
yeah, we use him as a rotating hooker, which is unfortunate.
What you should do is have Mbai move to... So, start Sullivan, Mbai at 14. Mbai swaps on for either 11, 12, or 13. Move Jack Bird. Let's say you move him for 11 and 12. Jack Bird moves to the second row position, and you have Mbai at lock, and you have a running lock that way.
Now, I kind of want to keep Jack at lock.
He's great.
I
think he's
understand.
fantastic.
I understand that. I'm trying. You saying you want him on the field?
I know.
He's a great utility.
I'm saying for Mbai, I actually think
No, I
you'd
can't
be
stand
better
him.
off in the winger position.
Well, then he has to start at that position.
Yeah, that's fine. But what I'm trying to say is I don't think starting him as a rotating utility player is working for us at the moment. So maybe lock. Like, he's a great utility player, but where he's being played in and the people that, would be rested because of it, it's just not adding up.
I actually looking at your lineup this week. Toby Couchman's been dropped to 18th man, unfortunately.
Which is pretty rough because I know he had that knock on in the Roosters game, but he is a really, really good young footy player.
DeBellin's starting in the front row.
That's fine.
Yeah, I hate
He's
him.
look.
He's
We don't
still
like
not-
him. He's a good football player.
Yeah, he's not doing the worst.
Yeah, but I think honestly, here's how I fix the Dragons going forward this season. You keep Sloan at 1 because that's where he has to be. If you really want Mbai on the wing, I've got nowhere to put him this week because you've got Ravalawa back this week.
Oh, is
Feeney.
Rava back already?
Rav's back, so you've got
that's right,
Sully
we're at round
and
10 now, aren't we?
Max Feeney is actually starting at 4.
Nice. So they've put him in the center. That's
You've
okay.
I would actually start Jaden Sullivan at 6 and put Talatau Amone on the bench. Keep Benny Hunt 7. I guess keep Jack DeBellin at 8 and Blake Laurie at 10. Put Jacob Little at starting hooker.
Yep.
Then you've got 11, 12, 13. Keep them the same. Keep your 15, 16, 17 the same.
Do you want to be our new coach, Andy?
I'd
No.
vote for you.
No.
I'd vote for him. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But the other thing you'd have to do is you've got 3 front rowers. So I'd dump Michael. I'd dump either Michael Milo, Ben Murdoch Malasina, or Josh Kerr.
Not Murdoch Malasina.
Like, I'm just saying one of them, and bring a second.
Josh Kerr. Easy. He's a fucking Milo version of Paul Vaughan, and Paul Vaughan sucked.
Put in a second row or someone that can rotate in that second row for you as well, because that's what's doing really well at the Chookies. Because all of a sudden now we've got Crichton and Satilli back. Those two can rotate into the second row, and then you've got 2 second rowers that can rotate into the front row as well. All of a sudden, you've got a massive rotating forward pack.
Mm.
That's my 2 cents at least. And you've got a big test this week because you're coming up against the Tigers after a win.
Leading into the last topic and I know we brought it up, but now I want to wrap it up with something nice because it is the Magic Round.
Ugh,
Yep.
worst round of the NRL.
It still brings a crowd. I kind of like what they're doing with it. Maybe they should have done it between two cities, like up in Queensland or something like that.
Well, and I hate to do this. Do it at Allianz and SCG. It's 2 football fields right next to each other.
Yeah.
With 4 games in each.
Yeah.
But I digress. How's everyone feeling for it? What are we thinking?
I think we're going to see some ACLs done this weekend, and we're going to see some seasons over.
We've discussed that. I'm talking points, teams, and tries.
Oh, I need to look at the tips.
All right. I've got them right here for you.
I haven't done
Okay,
them.
go.
All right. So, Bulldogs versus Raiders.
Is that the starting round for Magic Round?
Friday, 5th of May, 6 p.m.
Wow. I'm going to tip the Raiders.
Absolutely.
I don't know. There's no other.
Eagles versus Broncos. Broncos.
Yeah, Broncos.
I mean, I know.
After last week's Manly's performance.
After last week's Broncos performance, but Manly have had more sustained injuries and they are showing weakness within their major key
And Tommy
players.
Turbo's injured.
Yes.
Panthers, Warriors. I'm going to go Panthers. I can't. Even though
I still want to stick with Warriors,
I want to stick with the Warriors.
but after last week, it's real hard because they did go scoreless.
Panthers have just come off a loss. You never want to come against the Panthers after a loss because Cleary sticks it to them.
The one I actually think is going to be the best game.
Sharks, Dolphins.
No, Storm Rabbits.
Should be a belter.
Well,
yeah.
Storm have shown they've
Sharks,
got signs.
Dolphins is beforehand.
Oh,
You know
Sharks.
what? Damn. That's just a back-to-back top game. No, I'm still picking Storm Rabbits. I reckon both teams
I hate to
are
do it.
showing real tenacity at the moment.
Oh, I think the Rabbits will pimp them in by 2 points.
I think Rabbits will win.
It's going to be
Absolutely.
such a close. If it's both teams playing at their best, it'll be so close. It'll be hard to pick them, but it'll come down to a Rabbits penalty goal.
I reckon it'll come down to Cameron Murray.
You reckon?
I reckon he'll do some weird... Or RCG. Not RCG. Reagan Gillard.
Nah, Regan Campbell Gillard plays for the
no,
Eels.
I'm talking Campbell Gillard. My bad.
Campbell Graham.
Campbell Gray.
I
I'm
knew who you.
so
I knew who
bad
you
with
meant.
names. I think
He's
I just had a
fantastic.
stroke.
I love Campbell Graham.
Okay,
Campbell
Spoon
Graham.
Bowl, Dragons and Tigers.
Dragons.
I'm going to take Dragons.
You know why I'm going to take the Tigers? Because Coruscant's going to do his ACL and we're going to win.
Chookies, North Queensland.
Chooks.
Yeah.
Dude, okay, let's digress here. What is happening to the Cowboys? Like, defensively, they're faltering.
Oh, I think they've been figured out. Because their attacks are not that great either.
No.
Nanai's been shut down at every opportunity and he's suspended for a few weeks now too.
Yeah.
Townsend's getting red, especially with his kicks.
Yeah, his kicking is shocking. There's
Yeah.
been a few games this year.
I'll take an easy win. I'll take an easy win.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah, no, take the easy win. But no, I've watched a good chunk of the Cowboy games and his kicks seem to be really off at the moment. Like he'll put up an attacking bomb that lands 15 meters out from the line. Or he'll put in like an attacking punt that goes out on the full right near the sideline. He's not great with his kicking at the moment.
And they're putting a lot of reliance on Drinkwater. They're expecting such big plays out of the dude, but Townsend isn't there to create these opportunities.
I think this is a classic, like Sammy Walker at the Roosters. Chad Townsend's not playing his role at half correctly, which is putting more pressure on Drinkwater to perform. And the
that's
more
when-
pressure on Drinkwater to perform is where everything's sort of shitting the bed, because Drinkwater is similar to Joe Manu. He likes to just pop up, maybe get 20, 30 meters up the field with a line break, get the ball back on the inside, fullback goes in for a try. He likes doing things like that. He likes putting a kick in 20 out from the line on the third tackle, and all of a sudden there's a try off a kick. You know what I mean? Like little things like that. And because Chad Townsend can't get his shit together and work the halfback role, which is constructing the line, keeping the line flowing, keeping it forward for doing halfback shit, it's causing the Cowboys to falter. And I don't think they're gonna win many games this year. I really don't.
Is a solution then to give the 7 to Tommy Didden, who's playing really, really well every week, like Tommy Didden's still trying his heart out, and then putting Chester in at number 6?
I don't think the issue is dropping Townsend.
I think it's a restructuring of their plays and
I think
trying to push it back to their forward pack.
It's a little bit of just restructuring, going back to basics in a way.
That might be the smartest thing about football you've ever said, Josh. That was fantastic.
I think it's more about just going back to basics for the Cowboys, relearning their positions and starting again.
Thanks, Blocker. Anyway, we've been Bums on the Bench. We'll see you next week.
Hey.
Don't forget to follow us on social media because Jack forgot that again. At Bums on the Bench. Listen to our other show at Formula Bums. We'll be back with a preview and a review of last round and the round coming. I forgot what tracks they were, but
It
they
was
were
Baku and Miami.
That's right, and they were shit. Anyway, see you.